Hey, what's up guys, John here. One of the biggest cyber attacks in American history has just happened.
The lending service company Mr. Cooper is the latest to fall victim to the ubiquitous cybersecurity hack.
Impacting 4.3 million property owners. They can't pay their mortgage. They can't get into their account. They're completely locked out. For context, if you were to look at the entire state of Florida and add up every single person, every single property that had a mortgage, it would almost be this size. That's how big this problem is. Almost $1 trillion in loans. This is the third largest mortgage holder in the United States of America. That's how big this situation is. But when you look at what's going on behind the scenes, it really makes you scratch your head. Just yesterday, for example, in Australia, half of the country did not have internet and power.
There's a communication chaos affecting millions of Australians.
It's being described as the biggest national phone outage ever. A tech fault affecting mobile, fixed line and broadband services.
Half of the country. You look at what happened on Friday. You had Bank of America, US Bank, Wells Fargo, Chase. They all had issues with ACH deposits. Remember that?
Thousands of people are still waiting for their money tonight. US Bank, Wells Fargo, Huntington Bank, everyone shared the same message about a deposit delay.
Employers could not pay employees. Millions of Americans couldn't get paid. Then on Monday, you had another bank that failed. $70 million in assets completely wiped out. You look at what's going on here, it's pretty insane. But I'm going to show you what's going on with mortgages, what's happening with real estate, because I think this entire industry is about to go through a major overhaul due to these cyber attacks. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's really going on. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So, cyber attack disrupts mortgage payments for millions of Mr. Cooper customers. So, Mr. Cooper is the third largest mortgage servicer in America. 4.3 million customers. 4.3 million customers. So for context, state of Florida, 56% of every property has a mortgage, right? 56% of these 10.2 million properties. So that comes out to about 5.7 million properties. 5.7 million. Mr. Cooper, this situation is 4.3 million. 4.3 million customers right here. 4.3. So, Mr. Cooper, one of America's largest non-bank mortgage loan servicers, suffered a cyber attack last week that disrupted loan payments and other transactions for millions of customers. Happened October 31st. We're now November 8th. So, for the last 9 days, they couldn't do anything. They can't pay their bills, nothing, right? So, the company based in Coppell, Texas, said in their regulatory filing last week that it was attacked on October 31st. A notice on its website said Mr. Cooper took immediate steps to lock down our systems, which prevented customers from making online payments or gaining access to the account information. The company said on Monday afternoon that it had restored its system for accepting payments. Well, that's what they're saying, but here, this just came out, Benghazi, just an hour and a half ago, saying, nope, still unable to make payments. So when you look at what's happening here, just going back the last, let's say the past hour, past 24 hours, you'll see that you're still, if you are a Mr. Cooper customer, you're still locked out of your account. So it still blocks millions of mortgage payments 17 hours ago. So you still look at what's happening, still unable to make payments. Exposes 4.3 million customers, their private data, their private information. You look at this, I mean, it's pretty shocking. Look at what happened in Australia last night, Reuters, right? Outage causes chaos in Australia before services restored. This came out today, 1:50 a.m., Sydney. An outage at number 2 Australia telco, Optus, left nearly half the population without internet or phone on Wednesday, throwing payment, transport, health systems into chaos, raising questions about the fragility of the country's core infrastructure. The outage was first reported at 4 a.m. It was not until almost 5:30 p.m. that it had services restored. So you think about that. That coupled with what they're doing here says I believe we're walking into a really, really big problem. So it says the Department of Homeland Security and its components play a lead role in strengthening cybersecurity resilience across the nation and sectors, investigating malicious cyber activity and advancing cybersecurity alongside our democratic values and principles. President Biden has made cybersecurity a top priority for the Biden-Harris administration at all levels of government to advance the president's commitment and to reflect enhancements of the nation's cybersecurity resilience is a top priority for DHS. Security Secretary issued a call for action dedicated to cybersecurity in his first month in office. So you start to look at this, they're talking heavily about supply chains, the executive order, and you think about what this would actually mean, having a mass scale cyber attack. And they've talked about this, saying health services, banking, everything could go down. It would make the former pandemic look like a mere disturbance. When you look at what's happening here, everything that has been, in conversation for this, they were talking about this in 2021. All this kind of went in place 2021. You start to look at this, it really makes you realize, at least for me, that big problems are going to be coming. It's almost guaranteed for cybersecurity. These hacks, these types of situations, systems down, people need to be prepared for a world of uncertainty because that's what we're in now. And I think most people are asleep about that, thinking, oh no, everything will probably go back to normal. Every single day, less people think things are going to go back to normal, and more people are prepared for an insane world. I believe this here, Newsweek, they said that for one, they become institutionalized with backers such as Russia, China, and the nations providing shelter for funding of massive ranks of hackers in their countries. So if we're looking at what's going on overseas and we're seeing all these problems start to creep in, and they're saying that the next big problem is going to be a cyber attack, and then we have problems with these countries, it could be very well likely that we're going to walk into a very, very, very big problem, and it's going to be blamed on these countries. And the only solution is going to be to completely overhaul how we have data, security, everything is going to change, everything. Here, the executive order signed by President Biden in May 2021 focused on improving software supply chain security by establishing a baseline security standard for developing and software sold to the government, including requiring developers to maintain greater visibility into the software and making security data publicly available. It stands up to concurrent public-private process to develop new and initiative approaches to secure software development and uses the power of federal procurement to incentivize the market. Finally, creates a pilot program to create an Energy Star type of label so the government and public at large can quickly determine whether the software was developed securely. Too much software, including critical software, is shipped with significant vulnerabilities that can be exploited by cyber criminals. The federal government will use the purchasing power to drive the market to build security into the software from the ground up. What do you think about this? Do you think that when you have 4.3 million Americans that cannot pay their bills walking into the holiday season, they can't pay their bills, that this situation is going to be quickly restored? I look at this situation saying, you know what, I heard about this story October 31st, but I'm like, oh, it'll probably get resolved within 24 hours and it will be a no issue. But now we're walking into a week and a half of this, and these property owners can't pay their bills still. And then you have this situation that's happened in Australia. Then you have the situation that happened last week with ACH deposits, and you had that bank failure. What you're starting to see is one big problem after the next. And a lot of it is around technology, right? Technology is what's going on. Everyone's blaming cyber attacks. Everyone's blaming all these random events that are happening. But when did these events happen? They all started happening just recently. I don't remember any discussion of cyber attacks 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Unfortunately, as we start moving into this technological revolution with AI and all these advancements, we're going to start seeing more and more and more of these events. And I think people need to get prepared for this. So, the company said on its website that it's set up to provide information about the incident. It was truly sorry for the disruptions. Imagine with your 4.3 million Americans that have their information leaked, their social security numbers, all of their personal data, their information. It's unbelievable what someone could do with your home address and your full social and understanding your income and all of this information that's supplied to a mortgage company. For that information to be leaked, it's devastating. And I would be shocked if there was no net damage done to some of these customers. You have 4.3 million customers. That is significant. That is significant. It's half the population of New Jersey, right? That's how big this situation is. Mr. Cooper said it was still trying to determine if the customer data had been stolen. The company did not offer an estimate on when it would be able to fully restore its data systems. In a regulatory filing last week, Mr. Cooper said did not think the attack would have been material adverse event on its operations or finances, but on Tuesday, a senior credit officer of the credit rating business Moody's Investor Services said that Moody's was monitoring the incident and the impact would depend on the duration of disruptions ensuing potential reputational damage and magnitude for the breach. The Federal Trade Commission recently finalized a rule requiring non-bank financial institutions to notify the agency within 30 days of the breach, affecting 500 or more customers. What do you think about this? Drop it below. We'll have a conversation. Do you think we're going to walk into a chain of these situations? Do you think we're going to see many more mortgage companies suffer some very similar outages? And if so, what do you think is going to be the new solution that's going to be brought forward to usher in this new change? Because when you have a magnitude of the problem, like what had just happened with Mr. Cooper, you can guarantee that this isn't just going to, be a one-off event. There's going to be massive change. There's going to be massive disruption, and we're walking into what I believe is going to be a very, very important year. 2024, 2025, I believe is going to rewrite business and rewrite the way in which we all live. Drop below. Let's have a conversation about it. If you want to fix your credit to position yourself for a world of uncertainty, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. See you guys next video.